adding information to their trees, and they're adding new records, right? So all of this is just speeding this process up. So here's my thing. One of my favorite things to do, you can look at all of them. That can be a little overwhelming. You could look at person discoveries, but I really like photo discoveries. If you want to see the magic of this right out of the gate, go check out photo discoveries because it's really amazing when you get the chance to come across a photo or an image that you've never seen before that has something to do with one of your ancestors. So here, if we click Photo Discoveries, we're going to find photographs for people in your family tree, and it will be taking these from other photos that people have uploaded, and they've allowed them to share it within the MyHeritage platform. And what MyHeritage will do in these instant discoveries is it's going to consolidate all of these together, sort of in little packages. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that there are just so many that they have to make all kinds of packages of 10 photos, okay? So if you're getting up to 10 photos in a package, and typically they'll be coming from different, variety of other family tree websites, and they call them sites because on MyHeritage, not only can you have your online tree, but you actually kind of have your own family history website where there's lots of stuff going on. And that is something that's very unique that you're not going to see on other platforms. So it's finding these photo discoveries. It's going to consolidate them into these packages, and the photos will originate only from family sites, family trees, where the privacy settings are set to allow for the photo sharing. So that's good to know. If you have photos and you don't want to share them publicly, you can turn that off yourself. And other people can do that as well. So it's kind of nice. It gives some respect to folks, depending on how they want to use their photographs and share them publicly. But if they do allow them, then they allow them to be part of smart matches. If that's enabled, then you're going to see them. Okay. So we click the photo discoveries and we're going to click on view discovery for the first package. Okay, so we want to see what are the photos in here. It's going to have an initial person tagged, but what I really recommend to get the most out of this is to click through to the original photo because that's going to show you other people who are tagged in the photograph. So for photos where you're seeing more than one person, it's really important to click through and see who else they're saying might be named in this photograph. And you're going to see an enlarged version of it, which is really kind of nice. So you can see here that not only is Sarah Melinda Williams in the photograph and she's tagged, but she's here with her husband, William. Or John. It'd be William Williams if it wasn't, right? Oh boy. Can you tell I've been on vacation for 2 weeks? Yes. Okay, so John Williams. So by default, all of the photographs in the photo discoveries will be copied to your tree when you add the discovery. So if you know for sure these are all your people, then you can do them in one fell swoop. But you don't have to do it that way. And of course, we want to make really sure that we feel extremely confident that these are in fact the people that they say that they are and that the person who's sharing them is accurate. I have found, generally speaking, that photos and the tagging of photos tends to be more accurate in general across the web than with trees. People, if they say this is who this is, they usually know that person. They have other photographs. So you're hoping that there's a better sense of accuracy there. But you can exclude some of the photos. So if some of them are not who you think they're saying that they are, and you're not sure, you don't want to add them for whatever reason, or they're a duplicate, you don't need that one, you can click the check mark to deselect the photograph. And then you can click add to add all of the photos that were selected still. So that's kind of nice, gives you a little bit of control. Now you can completely reject a photo discovery as well if it's just not a good match or it's all duplicates, things you don't need. You can just click reject this discovery. It's at the bottom of the list of the photos. Just scroll down to look for that. And the good news is they're not going to offer it to you again. So you're not going to keep getting these thrown back into your list to have to reevaluate. And after you apply a discovery, your tree is going to change, isn't it? You've just got new faces in your tree. So give it a little bit of time, because what it's doing is it's connecting this information that's going to perhaps generate some more some discoveries. So it could take up to 24 hours for the background system to kind of catch up so that you can then keep getting more discoveries, which is what you're hoping for. Now, the things we're talking about here, this particular feature is Premium Plus and Complete subscribers. So if you're currently a subscriber, you're going to be able to use this. If you're not, you're going to maybe be able to dabble with it, take a look at it, but you get unlimited discoveries when you're actually a subscriber. So, one of the nice things about kind of seeing what my favorite 10 things are is to see, does that make it worthwhile, that something that you want to get for yourself as well. All right, so the number 2 item that I just love about MyHeritage is this tree consistency checker. This is really cool. So you're going to find this in the menu under Family Tree and click on Consistency Checker. What this is going to do is it's going to look through your tree. Hang on, because it's going to be painful at first. It's painful for me. It will find problems in your tree. Okay. And that's a good thing, because you want to clear these up. So what you're going to see coming up in the consistency checker as it processes through everybody in your family tree is it's going to mark with a red triangle, hey, this is an error. It's obviously incorrect. This isn't possible, really, in reality. So check it out and get it fixed. You'll also see the orange circle with the exclamation point, and that's a warning. So it's possible that it could be accurate, but it's not that likely. So it's still really unlikely. It's important to take a quick look. Now, don't worry. I know what you're thinking. You first run it and you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe my tree is so wrong. But it's not that it's wrong. It may be that there's missing information. So if you don't have a death date for somebody, the system, as far as it can tell, is this person's still alive. Of course they're not. So you can click and you can see here the green button, mark as deceased. Very quickly from the tree consistency checker, you can fix that and just mark them as deceased, even if you don't currently have the death date. You'll also get notices. So these are the gray square and they have the little eye in there. And maybe this is okay, but it's worth a look because there was a little bit of an irregularity here. So it's just a chance to just double check and see maybe there's a name spelling, maybe there's something else that's just a little fishy, and you'll be able to spot it here in the consistency checker. So I like this because it gives you kind of one workspace to really kind of quickly clear some of this stuff up and also find items that maybe you'll want to go do some research on, right? So it's a good research question. If I'm showing incorrect dates here, correct birth or death dates for David Peffley are totally off, that's something to put on my to-do list to see if I can't straighten that out and find out the truth, maybe search some records. So here's the tree consistency checker, and it's checking for a lot of different things. And if you want to adjust what it's checking for, then you can click the gear icon, and that's going to pop up this little box. Now, it's currently searching for about 37 different types of issues that it knows that it can compare because it's got all this data, right, that it's pulling off of your tree. Well, from here, you can say, I don't want to worry about who's alive but too old. I know I have people who do not have death dates. I'm just going to uncheck that. So you can control this, click apply, and it will update and then just show you what you want. Let me show you this in action because it's really cool. We're going to go up to the family tree and come down to consistency checker. Now, depending on how many people you have in your family tree on MyHeritage, this could take a while for it to process. Keep in mind, not everybody puts every person in their online tree. And you can have multiple trees because you may be testing different theories. So you might have a couple of dozen people, you might have thousands of people. As it processes, it'll show you how far along it is at the top. But here we can see fact occurring after death, So it's giving me some warnings about that. Fact occurring before birth. So somehow we've listed that something has happened for that person before they were actually born. Doesn't seem very likely. And here, if you click on it, now notice here, if I kind of click on here, there's no button to fix this. I'm going to have to click through to the person to make adjustments. But sometimes you'll see there is a green button and you can take care of it right then and there from the consistency checker. And I think it's a really good thing that it's not just letting you randomly make willy-nilly decisions from here. In the case of some of these items here at the top with the error messages, it's more important to really dig in and go and review what we have on this person, look at the records, look for new records, do our due diligence as genealogists. Now, as you're looking at the page, there's a lot of stuff there. And you might want to dismiss a single issue. So you're looking at this one, you go, oh, no, that's not a problem. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Or that is such a far ancestor. I'm not interested in working on that right now, or a distant cousin. So you can click the X you notice it's in the white space. So it's actually just removing this particular issue. If we go in the gray area, so that's the bar around the type of issue, in this case, the type is alive but too old. If that's not of concern to you, you can click the X to disable that. Remember how we went into the gear icon and we kind of told it not to look for something? As you're going through this, you might go, I don't even need to worry about that. You can dismiss all of them just by clicking that X. You can also hide issues. So if you're looking at it and you want to just hide it temporarily, see the little down arrow? We can click that and that will just tighten it up and let me kind of clean up the page so I can focus on the stuff that right now is my top priority. So it's really easy to do. Again, a subscription is required. If you've got a current subscription, you're going to be able to use the full inconsistency report. Pretty neat feature. I like being able to go in there and do some of that cleanup. We all need to do that. Okay, number 3, after we've kind of got our tree on there and we've kind of cleaned up some of the problems, well, of course, we want to find new records. And where best to start than with the most recent people in your tree? And chances are they may be in a yearbook somewhere. And I love this collection. So I want to really highlight it for you today. It's the U.S. Yearbooks Record Collection. Now, this one is focused on the U.S., but they do have school records internationally. We're going to go in the menu under Research. I would recommend to go to the collection catalog. That's just my favorite go-to. You can search within just the search field, but I like seeing the collections. And here you can see the U.S. Yearbooks Name Index Collection. But if you come over to the left, there's actually schools and universities. There's 137 different collections there. So you can click that, and now you can go by Canada, Europe, and you can click for the country, the continent, and see all different types of records, not just yearbooks, but school records, indexes, all kinds of good stuff. So those things are there. I know we've got lots of folks who watch the show from around the world. But I want to focus on this yearbook collection because what could be more fun than finding, photos, particularly of recent relatives, people maybe who are still alive who would have a lot of fun. Now, I'm not related to Brad Pitt, but let's go look for Brad Pitt. He was born in 1963, and we know he's from Missouri. So I'm going to come down here and click Search, and let's see what it can find in yearbooks. Okay, so there's a couple of different Brad Pitts. Here he is, though. He went to Kickapoo High School. So in Springfield, so we're going to click View Record. Now you can already tell somebody's colorized that picture of him. It's got the little colorization icon on it. So we're going to come down here and right here, there he is in the center. It says he's at Cherokee Assembly and there's Brad Pitt. You can also look at the black and white version. So just because something's been colorized on MyHeritage doesn't mean it's permanent. And it's always indicated that that is not the original picture. It was actually colorized. But look down below. MyHeritage grabbed each page out of this yearbook where Brad Pitt is mentioned. and there's 4 different pages. So it does so much of the work for you. And I love that about this collection. So here he is. Let's zoom in. Awesome. We can colorize that picture as well. Right here from the yearbook page, which is kind of neat. And there he is. Awesome. So look, on page 79, you can click that. And notice at the top of the page, you can scroll. So you can drop down and grab any of the other pages that you want. But it does do the work of finding him quickly. So not only was he in the drama club, but he's also on the football team. So this guy is well-rounded. And here at MyHeritage. So pretty fun. And there he is listed. Now down below, keep scrolling because you're going to see related yearbooks. Clearly, if he's in Kickapoo High School, he might be in other yearbooks as well. Now we can go back and we can look at the results page, but we can also see they've got 1974 through 1978. This will also give you a really quick view of what they don't have. So if you're going to go back through the results page and you know the person's got actually kind of a fairly common name, you could spend a lot of time doing that. But if you scroll down on the one you did find, you'll be able to really quickly assess whether or not they even have the year for the yearbook that you need. And that's going to save you a lot of headache and heartache as you're trying to dig through search results and you're not finding anything. Now, here, when you're doing a search, we can maybe turn on exact match. For names where there's a lot of people with that name, like my name, my maiden name is Lisa Moore. There's a whole lot of Lisa Moores out there. In fact, there's a whole lot of Lisa Cooks, which is why I use Louise as a middle name. People always ask me that, but I just go by Lisa, but you have to differentiate somehow. I'm going to turn on the exact matches so that we can be more specific about the spelling of the name, the year the person was born, the state that you're researching. So under more, you'll see that the little school and school location, you can specify those. But under more, there's even more options here. You can add keywords. So maybe you're not looking for a person. Maybe you're looking for an event or something else. You can search by keyword. And we can turn on exact matches. So that's very handy. And I would recommend you take advantage of that, particularly if you're finding yourself looking and kind of getting overwhelmed with the amount of results that you're getting. Okay, so I've got some other yearbook tips for you. As you're digging through these yearbooks at MyHeritage, review the entire yearbook really carefully because there could be handwritten notes and you never know whose yearbook it was that they actually digitized. So that'd be kind of fun. And certainly if you've got yearbooks around the house, that is definitely worth taking a few moments to leaf through the pages. They may appear on pages that your relative is not on. And look for people in their social circle. The yearbook is part of that fan principle, the friends, associates, and neighbors that we look for in genealogy. And what better way to see who your ancestor or your relative was related to or involved with than to kind of see who they're in clubs together with. If you start seeing the same person showing up, this could be their best friend. We don't know. So look for the people in their social circle. I like to go back and look at the advertisers. They're usually listed towards the end of the yearbook, particularly in more recent books. Sometimes in older books, I find them towards the front. But this is their community. So these are the businesses that support the high school. They are often businesses of the students who attend the school. So that can be a nice opportunity. If you know your relative, their parents had a business in town, chances are there could be an advertisement for it in the yearbook. And keep in mind that the yearbook content had to be submitted pretty early. So that was usually in the spring, like in March or April. So when you're looking at the yearbook, keep in mind, you may not see something that happened afterward. If your relative passed away at the end of the school year, they may still be listed in that yearbook because it happened towards the end of the school year or some other event. So keep in mind, and that's true, isn't it, with all genealogy records, to be aware of when they were taken. Same thing with the census. It'll tell you the date that the census taker was taking the census and visiting the houses. So the same is true with yearbooks. Also, a lot of people have questions about the copyright because it's really fun to share the photos and things that you find in yearbooks. And according to MyHeritage's website, it says most yearbooks are not covered by U.S. copyright laws. Yearbooks published before 1963 are without a copyright notice, and without a copyright notice are not covered by copyright restrictions. So, look on the front cover page, see if there's anything about copyright or that type of thing, and go from there. All right, another really favorite record collection before we get into some of the other tech type tools that are at MyHeritage is the city directories. I think I love yearbooks and city directories for one important reason. They get published nearly every year. And this fills in gaps between larger histories, census records, other things that occur more sporadically. You're getting that view year by year of what's happening in the life of your ancestor. And certainly there are city directories in other countries as well, but the U.S. collection at MyHeritage is huge and well worth taking a look at. So you're going to find it, again, I like to go directly first to the collection catalog, and then I can select the specific collection that I want to search in. You can do a global search, but you're going to get all kinds of other stuff that are going to kind of clutter up the landscape. And so going directly to the card catalog, the collection catalog, is going to get you directly to the one collection you want to search. And here's the thing, folks. When you get to the collection page, you're going to actually learn more about that collection. Remember, we were talking about with yearbooks, hey, when were they published? What time of year? Well, that makes a difference to what you're seeing. You're going to get these descriptions at the top of the page that tell you a lot more about what you can expect to find and what you might not expect to find, which is just as important so that you don't spin your wheels. So I'm going to search for a great-great-grandfather, Conover Burkett. And here we go. Click the search button down here below. Let's see what they've got. Okay, well, I got two results here. One from 1910, and then residents between 1911 and 1916. Now, I don't really need to, but if I had a lot of results, again, I could click more, and I could add keywords or who their spouse was. I could also match the terms exactly. So that's where we were talking about some of that filtering that you can do. But I'm in pretty good shape. I just have these two items. I could add his birth year if that would help. Sometimes it hurts because it depends on what information was available in that collection. If you make it exact, you could end up with no results. So that's why we kind of like to go a little bit more broad and then zero in. So see if we search, oh, now, see, I cut my toes off here. So we're going to take this out of here. And I might even try other spelling variations just to see if somewhere it got spelled differently. But if we click the record, here is the city directory. So it says this is his residence in 1910 Springfield, Ohio. It gives his street address, which is really nice. And if we look here, we've got the digitized record. Right here is the way to expand to get full screen. So we can get full screen. Use the plus sign when you use like the rolly ball on your mouse, this thing. It kind of jumps around a lot. So use that plus and minus up at the top of the screen. Interesting. Okay. So it's listing not only Conover, but Earl and Russell. There's also Burkett with the 2 T's, which makes me realize there might be some variations on the name. But here's his wife, Viola. I happen to know that Earl and Russell are his sons. They're listed at the same address, so they are probably adults by this age. And if we look at my database on my family tree, yes, they are. And that's why they're listed separately. So that's kind of nice. So just like with the census, we're looking at the page before, the page after. Are we missing anybody? Are there other people with the same name that you might want to take a look at who might be related? Here we can jump to pages, and this is nice. If you go to the top of the screen and jump to like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th page, I like to grab a copy of the cover sheet. This is like a source citation. It's giving me all the details. So I'm going to grab Snagit. We talked about Snagit here on the show a couple of weeks ago in a video. Go check that out. It's an awesome clipping tool. And if I'm just going to grab and clip this, so I'm going to save that along with any documents that I save in my filing system on my computer. I'm going to do my best to cite my sources, but it just never hurts to have that title page. And then you can go through, check out the front of these city directories, because you're going to find the index. Maybe each one has different kinds of content. So you might find that this one has maps, or this one has other business directory, business listings. Now come down back to the results page. And if we save the record, we can add it to the person in our tree. We can also say, well, I want to also add it to Earl, and I want to also add it to Russell, so I can select somebody else and add it to them right here while I'm at it, which is saving me some time. And click continue, and then it'll extract the information and add it to your tree. So that's one way to save, but I like coming down here to the little printer icon, and also there's Cite Your Source. You have to love this. This is so important that we do this, and they've made it so easy. So click the quotation icon, and you're going to be able to copy this detailed source citation so that you can add it to your record. You can also, when you click print, you don't have to print it to paper. You could print it to PDF and then save that to your computer as a record as well. So lots of different ways. I love capturing with Snagit because it's going to give me control over what parts. I could just take just the section that they're in, whatever I want to do. If you want to learn more about that, go to genealogygems.com/11s and go check out Snagit. We have a special link there where you can buy it if you want to. It's not very expensive, but it does so many amazing things. Okay, so that's the city directories. Here, I'm going to grab this one, use my Snagit, click the capture, and I'm going to get the full 2 pages. I want to get the whole thing. And I can set the resolution, so I make sure that I get really high resolution. I can even just say, no, I just need this one chunk right here. And so it gives you more precision than you're going to normally get from the genealogy website's ability to clip. This is true over on all different kinds of sites, and particularly like newspaper genealogy record sites. So, wonderful. Okay, additional city directories. Now, just like with yearbooks, it's going to give us a kind of a breadcrumb trail to other resources that are related. So notice on this record, it's listing 1911, 12, 13, 14, and they're one click away. So it's finding Conover in like 6 more directories. It's done all this work for you. So oftentimes when you find that one first record, you're actually going to be just clicks away from all the other years. And see how wonderful to be able to kind of fill in those years between the 1910 census and the 1920 census. And we can do that with the city directories. So I love, love, love that feature. And there's all our source information. You can even click the link where it says, see who else lived at this address. And it will show this address and search it in the city directories database and show you other people who have lived there as well. All right. My next, the number 5 thing that I just love about MyHeritage is family statistics. This is just a lot of fun. It's also kind of a way, I talk a lot about data visualization. I like different ways to visualize data and information that I have. And of course, a genealogy website that has your online tree is going to have a lot of your data. So they can mix and match it and display it in a lot of different ways, sometimes with very revealing results. So again, if you've used this feature, I'd be really interested to know in the comments section. Let me know what you think of it. We're going to go to Home and click Family Statistics. And again, I'm going to have all the details on this on the show notes webpage over at my website. We'll have more details for that in a second. But look at this. It's taking it and creating pie charts. It's showing you the most common names that you have in your entire family tree and the most people that you have with those names, right? So you can click the name and it will give you a list of all those people. So a lot of this is interactive. As we go through the menu, there's a menu on the left. You can also scroll down. It will continue to kind of give you links to advance to the next section. Age distribution. Who are the oldest living people in your tree, the youngest? I think it's really interesting, the average life expectancy. I'm counting on more than 61 years old, or 62 for women. Now, if you see that some of these people, oh, we know they're deceased. They're not 113. I just, right here, just like with the inconsistency checker, I can click mark as deceased and fix that. So it helps you spot some of those things as well. But right now, according to the dates I have entered into my family tree, the life expectancy is 62. I'm definitely, I know people who live to be 100 in my family. I'll be one of those, right? Okay, so, well, look, Daniel Burkett, he lived to 101. Okay, who lived the least amount of time? So children that passed away in infancy. And then you can see here birth months. If you are into the zodiac, you can even see, now I'm an Aquarius. 10% of my family tree is Aquarius. I could burst into song, but I know you don't want me to. When people were born. So it shows I have a lot of people in the 1800s, born in the 1800s in my tree. Number of marriages, who married the most. We got some of those in my family. Children, divorces. So you can see there's just a lot of really interesting information. And in a way, it's a bit of an inconsistency checker too. It's going to kind of bring to light things that you think, wow, I should have more on that. That would be an area that I want to go research some more. So that is the family statistics. And if you haven't been using that, but it'd be kind of a fun thing to go try when we get done here. All right, number 6 is the pedigree map. I love maps. I use Google Earth all the time, and I found out late in the game of using MyHeritage that they have the pedigree map also built in to the tool. And the beauty of this is the way in which it's linked to my family tree data. So this is really cool. This is what the map looks like. And again, it's looking at your tree and then plotting people out based on how you filled in the place location field. So I'm going to go to my next screen here. Let's show you under family tree. We're going to click more. And there you'll find the pedigree map. So we're going to click that. This could be another way to visualize your data. Find inconsistencies. Maybe even find things that you want to do some research on. So if I click on Germany, it's going to show me all the different locations where I have people in my family tree in Germany. And as we come up here, okay, so number 2 is Germany in general, but I also have some people who came from Gladbeck, Dortmund. So it shows you how many people, if you look at the little orange circle, how many people in your tree come from this place. So we don't have a lot of time to dig into it in a lot of specifics, but have some fun with this because it has a lot of interesting capabilities here. Now, I'm looking at this going, why do I have somebody from China? I don't have anybody that I know of. Well, sure enough, I had a place name that it wasn't really understanding. It picked up on Canton, and they're not from Canton, China. They're from Switzerland. So I'm going to go here and I can quickly edit this and change it and get them in the right spot. So you can see how, again, it's flagging you very quickly and easily and making it really easy to fix those problems that you might have in your tree. And so you can go in and you can click through, you can look at the individual people. It's just a really interesting tool, and I think one that could help you kind of develop research strategies and learn more just geographically about where people are. I mean, I think it helps just to see it visually. Up here at the top, you can, you're going to by default be the initial person, but you could also specify and type in another ancestor's name in that box. Then from there, it's going to show that person and their extended family. So if you want to narrow that in on that tree and not have it show everybody in your database because it's not coming from you as the focus, then that's the way to do it. Type in their name and you can say, I just want this person's descendants. Where do they live? You can start to see some of the advantages in terms of our research, what that could do for us. And then it'll show you how many places and the different references. You'll notice, in fact, let me go here. Down at the bottom, it says heat map. And if you click heat map, it's going to display the concentrations of your family in particular areas. Again, focused on who the person is that you're saying is the primary start person, whether it's you or somebody else in your family tree. And this is really especially helpful when you combine it with using the filters. You can filter by year and type of records and those kinds of things. Heat map is really interesting. Also, click not found. In the list, you'll see not found. It's on the left-hand side, and that's another quick way to find family members who need place information that you can add right there and then from the map. Also, they're going to show you these gray exclamation points, and these are going to indicate the place name needs more clarification. I had several of these. Back in the day when I imported my initial tree, it came from my very early genealogy database, and I put all kinds of notes in place names. Maybe you did the same thing. So I have all these parentheses with notes. You saw it with Canton, and that's going to throw the map off. So this is a really nice, easy way to clean up some of that stuff so that MyHeritage can do a better job of finding your discoveries, right? You're not going to send it on a wild goose chase. Now, because Pedigree Maps is based on Google Maps, and Google Maps, of course, Google Earth is based on Google Maps. Well, all of that is modern day map, right? It's whatever those places are called today. So it can be best to use the current name of the country where that person's from. So think about how the borders have changed. They certainly have changed over time. And when you put in a location, you might want to put what the current location is and what it was formerly. So I might say, well, this is Poland, but it was formerly East Prussia. Sometimes we want to put when they're born somewhere, we want to put the name that it was at that time, and that's fine. Just know that the map might have some challenges in finding that location. So you decide how you want to enter that. And again, if my master database is on my computer, which I do with my my software on my computer, then I can put that exactly the way it appears on the birth document. But depending on how I'm using my tree on MyHeritage, I might determine that it makes sense because I want to do a lot of mapping, focus on the modern day name, and put in parentheses what the former name was. So think about, see how that works for you. All right. Numbers, there's so many cool things. It's hard to pick, but number 7 is the relationship report. And I wanted to draw your attention to this because, again, this is one of those features I think for many of us who have been using MyHeritage for a long time, we're not using it. We haven't noticed it. I mean, I'll bet you, for those of you who are subscribers, and I'd be interested to know, leave a comment. Have you already seen me talk about a tool that even though you've been a subscriber, you haven't been using it yet? I hope so, because that's the idea, is to kind of expand our usage. It takes a lot to invest financially in any genealogy website that we use. And so we want to make sure we're getting the most out of it. And record collections we talked about, they have unique record collections nobody else is going to have. If those are the ones you need, then it's worth it. And certainly there are all kinds of analysis tools like the relationship report that might really serve you well in your research. So let me show you where this is. It's under Family Tree in the menu. We're going to click More again. It's kind of buried down here under Relationship Report. So this is a really easy, quick way to see how two people are related. So it's got me in here as the source person. If I change it to Daniel Paulus and click Display Relationship, you get this little visualization. And I know not everybody thinks this way, but I'm very much a pictures thinker. So when I see pictures, it really helps me remember and digest the information. And I love this. It also really helped me quickly spot who I needed to put photos for that I didn't have photos for. Down below, it tells you the order in which the route travels through your tree to go from that person to you. You can also adjust how much detail it's giving you if you're just trying to get a quick overview. And it doesn't have to be you. Anybody in your tree, if you've got 2 different people, just type in their names, click display relationship to adjust it. And here's another one. So here's a person that I'm not directly related to, but you can see, oh, she's the sister of Benjamin, who I am directly related to ancestrally. He's my great-grandfather, and this is his sister. So it gives you kind of that little snapshot. If you find yourself in your family tree looking at the pedigree chart and getting a little overwhelmed, trying to track what that relationship is, relationship report, that's your tool, because it makes it so quick and easy to see. I love that. And I think it's an awful lot of fun for people in your family who are not into genealogy. And, that's worth something. We're trying to get our family members not to kind of roll their eyes, right? When we talk about genealogy, and we want to be able to share the family history we're finding, kind of show how it's relevant to them. How fun to have the kids sit down and type their name in and then pick an ancestor, and it shows them the picture. So same thing with the mapping. There's so many different ways to bring interest to family history. MyHeritage is really good with that, I think. All right, number 8, this is new. This is the confirm or reject a theory of family relativity. I know many of you watching have tested your DNA. Now you can test DNA at MyHeritage. You can also upload your test results from other websites. If you tested with Ancestry, you can take your raw data and export it and upload that to MyHeritage and then get all of these wonderful tools that they have. Theory of relativity has been terrific, but up until recently, there's been no way to reject and confirm. So the theory of family relativity, it provides theories for you about how you and your DNA matches might be related, right? Because it's able to incorporate genealogical information that's coming from its records, it's coming from your family tree, it's coming from your match's family tree. So those theories are terrific. They give you something to kind of pursue, but until recently you didn't really have an option to confirm or reject, and that you need that to be able to clear up and kind of work through them. But now you can. They just recently announced this. You can review your theories, marking the ones that you have already processed so that the new ones are a lot easier to notice. You got 3 different options on status: pending, confirm, or reject. So if you haven't made a choice either way, it will just stay in pending status, or you can confirm or reject. So to do this, you can go to the DNA matches page. Use the filters. You'll find it up at the top, and you can filter to see only those DNA matches that have a theory of family relativity, because you're trying to zero in on that. And you can see down below, I put kind of a red box around this. So Stephen Evans, you could click view the theory to see what it says, why it thinks we're related. So theories can be confirmed or rejected in 2 different places. So the first place is the review DNA match page. That includes a summarized view of the theory. So you can see view full theory there, and then you can confirm or reject. You can also go to full theory view, which you can click that little link in the theory, and it will take you to where you can confirm or reject. In the list of the DNA matches, once you've confirmed a theory, it's going to be displayed in the DNA match card. So you can see for Stephen Evans that it shows confirmed in green. So that's already been done. Down below for Phyllis, it's in red and it says rejected. So people have asked, okay, well, but what if later I change my mind? I got new information and I think, oh, wait a second, maybe I shouldn't have rejected this. All you have to do is click the view theory, and then you can undo your confirmation or your rejection, returning the theory to pending status. So you can undo it even if you're not sure yet what the answer is, or you just clicked a little too fast. So that's super easy to do. Number 9 is photo tools. Oh my gosh, I know. You knew I couldn't leave them out of this list because they're so amazing. There's lots of different ones. You can find your photos that you can upload at Family Tree in the menu, and then go to My Photos. Once you get there, you've got 3 different options right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we turn around tomorrow, there'll be more. You can colorize your photos. You can enhance them and do some correction to them, kind of sharpen them and clear them up. You can even animate your photos. Again, one of those tools that just makes family history a little more exciting for even the non-genealogists in your family. And if you're enjoying this video, if you're hearing about stuff that you're looking forward to checking out, I hope that you'll give it a like and a thumbs up. And that way you can also come back to this video really easily and review it as well. Okay, so enhance and colorize. If you go to Photos and My Photos, you've got 3 different options there. They recommend, it's usually best if you think you're going to use multiple tools, go ahead and enhance first, right? Clean it up first. So I'm going to pick this photograph off my hard drive. You can also drag and drop it. If your file manager's open, you can drag and drop it right onto the screen. It's really cool. And here's my grandmother with her family, my great-grandparents, and her brother and sister. And it does a nice little cleanup, kind of sharpens things up, maybe adds a little bit of contrast. This one wasn't a huge difference, but it's nice. I really like that it's sharpened up like that. Now we can just, from here, click the Colorize button, and it will colorize it. I love that. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. And the beauty of this is anybody can try this out. You can do a couple of these for free. If you are a subscriber, you could get unlimited, which, good luck doing research because doing photos is so much fun. And you can see I've been working on lots of them here. Here's my great-great-grandmother. I'm really just amazed at the difference in this photograph. This was one of the ones that really made a difference. You can still go back to your original. You can look at just the improved photo. You can even click the comparison. You can save these to your computer. It's going to mark them. It's going to put that little icon so that this has been altered. But look at the difference. And this actually comes out of a portrait of her with all of her brothers and sisters. So now I have a really nice, clear portrait of her. And I really commend MyHeritage for putting the little icons there. It's really important that we know that this was not what the original photo looked like. So we know that maybe the coloring is going to be a little bit off, or maybe her hair color is a little different. But it's amazing of the people that I know, and I have other color photos of, how accurate some of this stuff is. You can also adjust it as well, manually. Here, when you have photographs of locations, don't miss those, because I think these are some of the most stunning in terms of the colorization tool, just being able to bring the landscape to life, if you will. And this was kind of fun. So I took this photograph of Charles Ingalls. This is Laura Ingalls Wilder's father, Pa, right? Known as Pa. Let's animate him. Did you grow up reading the Little House books? I love those books. I still love them today. And all of a sudden, Pa is looking at us and moving and winking and smiling. There's 10 different options now. So when they first came out with it, you could see kind of one animation. But click and you can select a lot of different variations on it. And they even have these special animations, which again, I think just add some fun to the whole thing. Does he approve? Yes, he approves. Pa likes it. How fun is that? Oh, it's uncanny. Okay. I love it. So enhance first, then colorize. Consider animating if you want to. Right now, they are able to animate individual faces. You can learn more about that. I did a video called Fabulous Photo Discoveries by MyHeritage. It's available on the Genealogy Gems YouTube channel, and I will have a link to that in the show notes for this episode, which is episode 63. And you can go to genealogygems.com/11s, or at least this week I'll have the picture right up there on the screen on the home page you can click through. But head to the show notes page. I'll have everything for you. If you're watching live, that'll be a little bit later today. They're almost done, and I need all the details from our live show here to get into the show notes. And I'll have links to everything for you. I have my number 10 item, which is their commitment to privacy. This is such an important element for all of us to be considering these days, more than ever, particularly when you're doing DNA testing and other things. And I just want to draw your attention. They came out with this announcement not too long ago. And they said earlier this year, prior to MyHeritage's acquisition by a leading private equity company, it's called Francisco Partners. So they now have new ownership. we issued a press release in which we promised to expand MyHeritage's strong privacy framework for the benefit of our users. And the current updates to our privacy policy fulfill this promise. So they have done the update. The highlight of the updates is the unequivocal commitment not to license or sell genetic data to any third party. And as you can see, it is spelled out in big capital letters in their privacy policy. And I think they're right. This is highly unique among the larger genealogy and consumer DNA industry. So kudos to MyHeritage for doing that and for putting it in writing, our privacy matters. So to recap my 10 don't miss features: instant discoveries, the family tree consistency checker, fabulous records like U.S. Yearbooks, the USA Directories. They've used artificial intelligence to help really get accurate results in these directories and collections. The family statistics tool, that was really fun. The PedigreeMap, maybe you weren't using that, but now you can. The relationship report to quickly see how two people are related. And confirm or reject a theory of family relativity. So nice to see that feature added most recently. And awesome photo tools, right? And of course, their commitment to privacy. Again, this is episode 63, and I'm happy to let you know that MyHeritage is offering a very special deal. I let them know I was doing this episode. So what they've done, we're doing this live July 22nd of 2021. And for 5 days, they are offering for new customers, people who haven't had a chance to try it, who have not been a subscriber, you can become a subscriber and get 50% off. So 50% off on, thank you, Bill, on the complete package. So you will have unlimited access to everything that they offer. If you haven't tried it yet, I mean, that's why they offer this, because this is your chance to do it at half price. And I think you're going to love it as much as I do. So the link to that, our link to that specific discount will be in the show notes. Again, at genealogygems.com/11sis. I can't believe it's already noon. What is going on? Time is going by so fast. Let me get to the next spot here. All right. So I hope you had a lot of fun. I see you guys have been very busy. Bill says you've been very busy in the chat. There was a question. Does animation work on group photos? Okay, as of this recording, it doesn't. I'm looking to make sure I've got the right screen up. Okay, it doesn't. However, I just did a special kind of a user testing thing with them. They check in with me sometimes to see what I think and what I like and what I would suggest. And I was really specific with them that I felt like that in addition to individual faces, I'd really like to see multiple people animating within the same photograph and not just being a zoom in on the face. You might remember on a previous episode of this show, I made my own. So I went into Camtasia, which is the video production tool that is by the same company as Snagit. And I took the original full photo and then I had cropped and downloaded the video of the animated face and I superimposed it and then I I know. I'm nuts. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun. But it was really cool because it showed one person in the group photo animating without losing the entire group photo. Stay tuned, my friends, because I made lots and lots of suggestions to them about what I thought, and hopefully we'll be seeing some of those. I know they have super smart people over there, and they are really excited about releasing lots of new features. So I think we have a lot more to look forward to come. How to navigate to theory of family relativity. I think we need to do a separate video on that because, oh my gosh, we've gone a whole hour, but we will. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's so good to be back. Please be sure and click the subscribe button if you're here on YouTube because that puts us in your favorites list and that makes it really easy for you to find us anytime you're on YouTube. And of course, the best way to find everything that I've put together for you is over at my website, genealogygems.com. If you're a premium member, I'm going to have that special ad-free downloadable cheat sheet of the entire show notes with all the details for you. So be sure you'll find that in the resources section at the show notes page. Oh, I could have talked on for an hour. I had so much to say. Let me see if I can get to the right screen. But for now, what I will say is thank you so much for visiting with me here, my friend. I will talk to you soon.